Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the WA Running Podcast as we record on Monday, the 21st of July, 2025. This week, we cover results from the Goldfields Pipeline Marathon as well as the Marathon Club Shelley Loop, with some quick times and course records breaking over the weekend. Not much else to cover this week, so we'll finish the episode with this week's Weapons of Warp, along with a couple of Warp admin news. Across my screen is someone who probably spent most of Saturday night watching the Diamond League meet, and therefore was probably pretty quiet during the Wolves Run Club run. Chris, the Metronome Shaw, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. 11 p.m. bedtime on a Saturday is very unusual for me, but I think that explains why I was in bed by about 7:30 last night. So,
Okay. I was wondering why you were really quiet during the Sunday long run. I was thinking that you were needing to drop some kids off by the pool because you did duck out for a bit and returned, but I think you were more sleepy than needing to chuck a shit.
well, I think it explains how quiet I was in the first half. Was that was needing to go to the loo.
Yeah.
But once I'd resolved that problem, I was much better spirits.
Very good, very good. And then across the other side of my screen is a returning guest on the WA Running Podcast. I think we did say last time that you needed to run a sub 2 hour 45. Now, you didn't do that at Gold Coast, but you did redeem yourself by running a sneaky 10K PB 2 weeks post Gold Coast Marathon. So we thought it was a good idea to get you back on. Matt Smerilli, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me back. Didn't quite get the 2:45, but close-ish, I guess.
Good enough. Good enough. Account for the 1%, 2% adjustment rate or whatever it was in the end. No, good race in the end. Let's get straight into training week. So it's been 2 weeks since the Gold Coast Marathon. And maybe we'll start with you, Matt.
Sure.
Perhaps a recap of how the event was for you and how the race unfolded.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll jump across to the weekend. That feels like a long time ago now. It's only 2 weeks, but it feels like quite a while. So overall a fantastic experience. It's my first interstate marathon. I've only ever done. This is my third marathon, so the only other two were Perth Running Festival. Interstate obviously has its different challenges with time adjustments and not being at home and just those sort of knowns that you can control sort of thing. So that was an experience, but amazing atmosphere along the course throughout the run, and even on the Saturday watching the half as well was that was really good to watch, especially some of those elites coming through at the end. So I sort of arrived in on Gold Coast on the Thursday, quite late, unfortunately, but managed to get some good sleep in before Sunday. I guess leading up to that weekend, I had been a little sick, or just on and off. It seemed like it was doing the rounds though amongst a few people in the group. Managed to sort of shake that off on that Saturday morning before the race, which was good. And then sort of just resting and as Chris mentioned the other week, just eating as much as we can, sort of just getting ready for the race, and then getting it underway on the Sunday. So a little, from last week's discussion, a little humid as far as the temperature goes, but sort of leading up to Gold Coast, I was training for around that 2:45 to 2:47 as a goal time, but sort of had to readjust that probably the day before, to be honest, looking at the weather and seeing that it's probably not going to be favourable. And I'm sort of glad I did. Kicking off in the morning, it was an early start. Thankfully, I was only a few Ks from the start line, so I decided to jog that rather than get the tram, which I think might have been
smart decision.
A good decision. Looking at jogging past the tram and seeing people queued up, so that was beneficial. And then getting there at a reasonable time to sort of settle down, and but certainly was anxious for numerous reasons. And then really just trying to settle in before the race. Obviously had the big ramp up just before it started, which was good, despite the eardrums being being tested. But yeah, no, it was good. Got a good position in the corral, and sort of went off, and the first 21 Ks probably felt fairly good, I guess, and I sort of sat with the 2 hour 50 paces probably from about 6 or 7 Ks in, because I did start a little bit further back from them, but was feeling pretty comfortable. Heart rate was looking good. Nutrition, I was getting the gels in every 30 minutes, and I started the race with a bottle as well, with some electrolytes and carb mix in there as well, which was good. So I didn't have to worry too much about the aid stations to start with. And then, sort of getting towards that 30K mark, started to become a little bit tougher, but sort of just pushed on. And then probably towards that last turn, I think last year on that 37, 38K mark, it really started to set in. The legs started to get a little heavy. There's only a few Ks less, but you still have a little bit of doubt of whether or not you can or can't do it. I didn't really keep an eye on the overall time too much. I knew I started a bit further back from the paces, and I was still with the paces, so I figured I was at least around that 250 mark. And then the aim was to sort of push on a little bit for the last couple of Ks in front of the paces and try and make up a little bit of time. Sort of just work through that. And then, a very small cramp started to come on probably the last K to go. Sort of managed just to sort of shuffle that for 10, 20 meters, and that sort of got rid of that. And then really just try to push through as hard as I could for that last probably 500 meters just before getting into the finishing chute. And then, managed to cross the line, and I think, 2:48.54, which, overall I can't be unhappy about. I think, readjusting that pace was beneficial. I think if I started at what I was aiming for initially, I would have blown up completely. And watching people in that last kilometer really struggle, sort of showed that it was pretty tough conditions out there, even though it didn't quite look it, which might have put people off guard. And I think just readjusting that certainly helped. But an amazing course. Spectators lined up pretty much through the whole 42 Ks, to be honest, which really helps, especially towards those last Ks, just getting, the crowd was just cheering for everyone who ran past, which was great. All in all, pretty good. And then, bit of an emotional, a lot of feelings towards the end after the race had finished. And, not that I was unhappy, but more of just, it was tough. There was a lot of work, done prior to this as far as training and some, minor hurdles along the way. So it was just good to get that done. I think just all the emotions sort of just came out, and I think that was, it was good to get them out. But it was a really great event. I highly recommend it.
So I was just thinking that maybe the tears came because you just had to breathe towards the end.
I was definitely breathing in that second half of the race for sure. There was no question about that. So just try to focus as much as I could really for that last 10, 12 kilometers.
Definitely. Would you, I guess, looking back, and it's been 2 weeks since, from an execution point of view, were you quite happy with how that sort of unfolded? So the readjustment from before the race even started through to, I guess, the 30 Ks all the way through to that last sort of 4 Ks, like you said. Did you feel like you executed that to plan or perfectly based on the conditions that unfolded?
I think pretty much to plan. Hindsight, looking back at it, you always think maybe I could have pushed a bit harder in those probably the last 5 Ks, to be honest. But I think if I did, and knowing that small cramp came on with the last K, I probably would have done more damage than good. So
sure.
I was, you always have doubts run through your mind towards the end of the race, but sort of just saying to yourself, I've done the training. I did have some pretty tough marathon-specific sessions leading up to it in pretty horrendous weather, which was good mentally. But obviously that was cooler and rain, not humid. But knowing that I could do the distance and I could do that pace roughly, so I think overall, I think just the readjustment of the pace going into the race certainly played a big part. There's definitely, looking back on it, I wouldn't have been able to sit on sort of around that 3:55 pace from start to finish.
I think your training kind of your peak mileage, maxed out just shy of 170 k's, like probably quite a lot.
It was getting up there for sure. Probably more than what I was planning on doing. I think my peak mileage I had planned around that 145 ish, and I think I was around 161 on that peak week. But I was sort of making up for it because I sort of early on in the build, I was overseas in New Zealand for a couple of weeks. I did get quite sick for the last week there. That really threw my training and confidence off. And I did have a pretty rough time trying to get back into it when I came back to Perth. But getting a couple of those key sessions in later really then gave me that extra confidence. So, it is possible to be around that, probably mid 247 mark. So it's sort of up and down a bit with the training, I guess, but can't complain.
Yeah, and which session gave you the best confidence leading into the race?
I think the final one, which I think I did 2 weeks out, or maybe 3. It was either 3 or 2 weeks out from race day, was the 3x10K at marathon pace, and then 1K floats in between, I think at around 4:15. So it was very tough, especially that last 10K interval, but getting it done and executing it sort of gave me that confidence. But that's 30K's worth of effort, whereas in the race I've got to do 42. So but I think that was a good signal that I could do was sort of what I wanted to do.
Yeah. And did you feel the full effects of the taper come race day? Did you feel really fresh after you had been sick?
I felt fairly fresh. I did run the days leading up to it, just 4 or 5K, and I probably shouldn't have the last on the Saturday. It's hard. You do feel fresh, but then, you're still in the back of your mind. You just want to keep the legs ticking over. I'm not huge on just not doing anything, which is probably more harm than good. And then obviously running to the event in the morning, that was another 3.5K as well. So maybe I should have reduced the mileage a little bit in those couple of days leading up, but felt fairly fresh, to be honest. Yeah.
So you've done 3 marathons. So I think the first one you did like a 3:14 or something along those lines. Was that right?
Yeah, 3:14 for the first one, 2:53 for the second, and now 2:48.
So some decent progression there over the course of 3 marathons. What's next from a marathon front? Anything like have you given it much thought in terms of the next marathon?
Not for this year. Definitely no marathon racing for this year. I think I sort of just want to focus on some shorter distance and sharpen up in that area, and then pacing the 3-hour 15 bus with Chris for PRF, which would be good fun. Toing and froing between maybe a Japanese marathon next year potentially, whilst I've got the opportunities to do so. I'm not sure. It's a big commitment. It's a big training block, depending on what time of the year I do it as well. Definitely keen to do another one. But it's a tough gig for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do a summer marathon training block to head into a Japanese winter. So I'm thinking like Shizuoka or something is what people tend to do. But that must be December. I'm trying to remember when that is.
I think it is towards the end of the year, yeah. But then there's a bunch of others, I think, in like Feb, March. So that would probably, definitely not for this year. But maybe a Feb or March. And then, get a good block in over summer with some heat resistance and acclimatize a bit to that. And then hopefully, going into a cooler condition, you can sort of execute even further. So, if that was to be the plan, then that's probably it. Otherwise, I'm not sure for next year. At this stage, and goal times, I'm not sure. It's harder to trim down compared to previous runs.
Great recap, mate. So let's go to how you recovered.
Yep.
So how'd you pull up post race, and I guess this is the second week gone by.
Post race, surprisingly pretty good, to be honest. Probably the main thing is my feet weren't torn up. Last two marathons, feet really struggled with just blisters, and lost a big toenail last year at PRF, and that took like 4 months to come back, sort of thing. So that was terrible. But I think I had Band-Aids on pretty much most of my toes for this run, because I was wearing the Alpha Fly 3s again, which, I go back and forth, a love-hate relationship with those. But surprisingly, the feet pulled up really well, which was a good sign. The Sunday was fine. I think when I woke up on the Monday, the body was just, a bit of, just pain throughout, really. The legs heavy and a bit of ache and pain. But by Tuesday, sort of felt pretty good. So, I think I was hydrating more after the run for the next couple of days, still eating a lot to let the body recover. Surprisingly pulled up pretty well. And I think I was running back again on the Wednesday. But no sessions for that week, sort of just easy runs for the remainder of that week. And then, getting back into it this week really was I think I did, last week, sorry, it was 88 Ks for the week. So starting to ramp that up a bit more with one sort of key session on the Tuesday, which sort of gave me a bit of confidence that I was pretty much recovered from what I could do. So 6x1 Ks on the Tuesday.
Yeah. No, beautiful, mate. And so you did Shelley over the weekend, so we'll recap your Shelley run, but that was a PB run by yourself. So clearly the body's feeling good.
I guess we can probably jump into that a bit later during the recap, but surprisingly good. And I just wanted to sort of see where I was at. It's hard to know, right, until you actually put yourself under those conditions. I can sort of touch base with that a bit later, but surprisingly quite comfortable.
Very good.
A comfortable 35:58.
It's a little worrying, but we'll see.
Mr. Sandbagger Smerilli. Okay, I'll quickly go through my mileage because I didn't do 88 Ks. My body didn't feel that amazing. I think last week I did only 30. So, to be honest, I've kind of just appreciated the fact that it is 2 weeks post race and not on an official program. Program starts today for Melbourne, so really not forcing myself to run if I didn't have to. But this last week, 67 Ks, and let's face it, I did half of my mileage yesterday during the Wolves long run. So just the one sesh coming back, which was the Thursday, which in the grand scheme of things was a quite light session. I'm trying to remember what we were doing. 3x2 Ks at, I'm going to say, slightly slower than tempo effort, and just exploring what floats would look like. So I'm trying to remember what our paces were. I think our paces were probably 4-minute Ks.
Yeah, I think it was bang on 4-minute Ks, yeah.
Yeah, for the on, and then floating somewhere between 420s and 430s, and that felt pretty comfortable without doing too much work. So over the next 4 weeks for me, it's slowly getting back into the typical Team Tina program. So this week, Tuesday, will be my VO spew sessions, though it will be quite light on compared to the 25 by 1 minute I think I was doing during my peak, but it'll start off as 8 by 1 minute, so it's going to feel like an absolute breeze tomorrow. I shouldn't say that publicly. And then
we'll see what you say on Strava tomorrow.
Yeah. And then Thursdays will be the start of the floats, and then tempos on Saturdays. And I think my long run starts at 2 hours, so it'll be actually a breezy sort of first couple of weeks. I am anticipating 4 weeks of pain and torture sort of in that middle block. So we'll see how we go from there. But I was meant to do parkrun this week because Saturday ended up being a perfect morning for running. My family's still battling a lot of illness this week, so there was a bit of caring responsibilities this week, so I didn't manage to do that. But program starts this week, and hopefully, touch wood, I don't get sick. So that's me. How about we move to you, Chris? How's your week been?
It was good. Mostly aerobic running, I think, since the marathon. So beside that kind of Thursday mini session, just a lot of easy running and kind of just enjoying it. I feel I want to feel fit again. So I've just I really enjoyed that that period, probably about 6 weeks out from Gold Coast, where running quite a lot, but even on the easy runs, feeling very fit. So I'm just looking to bring the mileage back up again and kind of hover around, I don't know, some not quite marathon numbers, but a reasonable amount, and start to change, start to slowly filter in the quality as the next few weeks come up, because I am going away in a few weeks' time. So there'll be a period there of about 3 weeks where I won't be able to get in a lot of sessions. So I'm not rushing back to hit sessions quite just yet, because I probably won't realistically be able to start doing them until I get back from Europe in 6 weeks' time. So probably just keep it slowly, increase the number of sessions at the moment, and maybe the gym, get back into the gym. So that's my plan for the next couple of weeks. But I guess last week I ran almost 100 Ks, or I think I edged and ran 99.79 or something like that. So Henry was supposed to go for a run with me on Sunday afternoon, so he bailed on Dad, unfortunately, which left me hanging on 99 Ks. But instead, we went tonight, so that's why I'm wearing my my Gold Coast Marathon shirt, feeling good. But just mindful that the body is still recovering, so I don't want to rush into anything.
Yeah, no unhinged behaviour from you this week.
No, not for a while, I think.
For a while. Two side questions. So one you see there on the run sheet. So I hear you are coaching your wife to PRF half marathon.
Yep.
How's that going?
So she's going very well, Maddie. I've got a plan up here. I'm just looking at it. So
there's a plan to say hills. That's it.
Well, I think Simon asked me yesterday if I put hills in there, and I said no, but I'm looking back at it now, and it does have hills. So what did we do yesterday? So yesterday, Maddie, she had it on Saturday, but ran it yesterday. So 12 Ks long run. But they're coming up on tomorrow. She has 6 by 3 minutes. So we're starting to start pick things up, and then I think the following week we've got some 1 minute hill reps. So probably going to try and peak out at around 50 Ks for the mileage, but mindful that Maddie's still coming back from a back injury, so we'll just see how these next few weeks go, and how because I think I put in some goal paces for the workouts, and
she told you to get fucked.
Yeah, a little bit.
On the couch, yep.
Yeah. No, I think Maddie's come back from a couple of runs and just said, look, maybe those paces you've set are a little hot, so we might have to just adjust them a little bit, and just kind of ease into it, because mindful that we don't want to end up with another back injury, which was not a result of my coaching, if I'm going to just put that out there, but. No, she'll be good. I think she ran 1:58 at Perth half last year.
Yep. That's a good run. Good day.
Yeah, it was a good day. I was like I think a 3-minute PB, or it was actually a significant PB. It was like a 10-minute PB. She's just yelled out from the television. So, she ran a 2:08 the year before at Fremantle, and then I think we're going to aim for somewhere under 1:58. So we'll hopefully 1:55 thereabouts is the goal, and but like I say, we'll see how we go the next few weeks, and then adjust as we go.
Are you running with her at all, or you're separate?
No, she's well. You and I will be running you and I will be pacing the marathon. So Maddie will be running it with her friend Taryn. So this is at Perth Running Festival half.
Yep.
So fingers crossed it's not a warm day. And I guess the advice will be to probably go out with the 2-hour paces, and then maybe pick it up from 11, 12 Ks, and then outkick Taryn in the last 500, hopefully.
Awesome.
So She doesn't want to be an athlete on the road to Perth Running Festival training series?
Well, it's funny. I did say that we were looking for some people, and she said, I'll do it. And I don't know if she was serious or not. So, yeah, we will. In fact, it's probably a bad idea because I'll end up in some kind of
hot water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't. There's
it's
probably things.
Game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We'll move on. The other question I had, not related to your running, was I know you were talking about Henry doing a bit of cross country and he had been doing some training. So has that happened or is that still to come?
Yeah, no, he did his cross country at school maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was just before the marathon, so maybe 4 weeks ago. So yeah, he didn't quite, like, in the peak of my training, our training together started to fall off a little bit because just we were running out of time in the day. And so Dad was being selfish and running too much. So unfortunately, yeah, he was only probably doing one run a week for a little while there and probably reflected in, he probably wasn't quite as happy as what he might have been if he had been consistently training. But he still did very well. He finished a few places higher than he did last year. I don't know what time he ran. I mean, and I don't really know what distance it was. They said it was 800 meters, but I can tell you for certain that that oval is not 400 meters. So 2 laps of the oval was probably 700 meters. And he did put in a massive surge in the last kind of 200 to pick up a couple of sols, which was good. But yeah, the kids who were at the front went out very hot, and he didn't try and keep up with them. My advice to him going into the race was just hang on to whoever's 4th or 5th, and that's where you want to be. And that's more or less where he landed. I think he came 5th in the end. So he did very well. Yeah.
So Parloff relay at the end of the year is looking pretty spicy in terms of the daddy-son duo.
Yeah, big time. I think the goal before then will be to take him under 25 minutes. So I think for a 5K, his 5K is roughly 25:20 maybe at the moment. He's very close. It'll be the goal then at Parloff will be to I don't know how many laps we did last year. Maybe it was just over 5. We're just under 6. Maybe it was just under 6. So if we could run, I don't know, 7 laps this year would be good. He'll be a lot quicker than he was last year, and so even though Andy was throwing a few numbers around on the long run on the weekend, he should be worried.
Very good, very good. Looking forward to that run at the end of the year. All right, let's get straight into results. So we'll start things off with the Shelley Loop run. That was on Sunday, the 20th of July. So we had over 360 finishes, which is a good showing, particularly with the weather. I guess the forecast not looking that great to begin with, and it seemed like the forecast and Dean Menzies' numbers around what the reading was going to be was changing every hour, but it ended up being a very, very good morning in the grand scheme of things, with the rain not coming in until sort of well after 10 a.m. So, and I think that's reflective in some of the results that we see here. So we'll start things off with the 3K. So in the men's, that was taken out by Oliver Stanfield McDonald in a time of 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Coming second is Juku Jansuk in 9 minutes 25, and Oliver Lefort Male. Oh, no, it's probably just Oliver Lefort, and I just kept Male in there in a time of 9 minutes and 27 seconds. In the women's race, that was taken out by the Running Centre's Coco Smagiasi in a time of 10 minutes and 8 seconds. I think last year's winner, Hannah Doyle coming... Oh, no, she came second again in a time of 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And Ellie Glanz rounding out the podium in a time of 10 minutes and 21 seconds. So running together there. In the 10K, the course record was broken by Professor Dean Menzies in a time of 30 minutes and 47 seconds. Coming second is Andrew Helbush in a time of 32 minutes and 25. And coming third is Finian Emmett in a time of 32 minutes and 33 seconds. Very swift times in the men's. In the women's race, that was taken out by Rebecca Bolster in a time of 36 minutes and 14 seconds. Coming second was Josie Wilson in a time of 37 minutes 19. And Joe Mills rounding out the women's podium in a time of 39 minutes 11 seconds. I guess with the front runner guys being there as part of their club championships, and I think BM running tends to show up at Shelley as well. Some very swift times across the two distances there. Matt, you were there. So how was the morning for you, and how was your race Sunday morning?
So I guess the morning in general there was a bit of doubt over the weather and whether or not those thunderstorms would come in. But overall it was pretty good conditions, to be honest, temperature-wise. A little bit of wind, but because you're sort of going out and back and the wind was sort of a crosswind for most of it, it wasn't too bad. Sort of a slight headwind for the last K or two, but it wasn't too bad, to be honest. So, huge turnout though, as you said, 368 finishes and a deep field. I think the first 25 are all under 36 minutes or something. So, super deep in that space, which was good though. It was good to see everyone out there, and the course itself is always a good quick course, a little bit windy, but and then you've got two sort of hairpin turns at each end. I'm not sure what was going on with the first turn, sort of turning opposite to the direction you should be, then going back into oncoming runners. So I'm not sure.
Wow.
There was some
like a
confusion.
figure eight.
Yeah, you're doing a figure eight on the turn. So I'm not sure if there was some confusion with the marshals, or that might have caused some issues in that middle of the field where it was a bit more congested. But the other last turn was fine. So I'm not sure what happened there, but overall, a really good event. And then from my side of things, I sort of looked at my previous 10K PB, which was over a year ago now, and just sort of thought, that was, I think, a 340 pace. So I thought I'd go out at 340 and just see how that felt. So I think I did that for the first K. It was feeling pretty good, to be honest. So I just wound it up a little bit to 335s, and I thought if I can hold that at least to 7 or 8 Ks and then readjust from there. So sort of got to that mark and still felt pretty comfortable. So I just left it at that, and just wanted to make sure I could finish the race and get that overall sort of idea of where I'm at in that space. And it seems I've got that fitness, which has been good, and obviously the marathon block has helped with that significantly. It was good to finish in that sub 36, which was a PB for myself, and sort of just gives me a good idea now of sort of where I'm at fitness wise and how the body's feeling overall. And the body's pretty good. Even today, I've pulled up quite well. So it was an awesome event.
Wicked, mate. So what's next for you in the short term then?
Perth half is in 2 weeks. Obviously I did the half in Bunbury this year, and that was quite a good race for myself. So I think if I could match that, I'd be pretty happy. Obviously it's a bit of a different course, and the August weather can be hit and miss as well. So I think if I can match what I did at Bunbury, I'll be pretty happy, and there's no expectation to go below that. I just want to, Bunbury is pretty tough, I guess. So if I could match it but feel a bit more comfortable, that would probably be ideal. And then the remainder of the year is probably between a mixture of 5 and 10 Ks at different sort of marathon club events, I think, throughout the space. And just sort of sharpen up in that shorter distance, just to mix things up a little bit and give the body a break from some longer distance stuff.
Sounds good, mate.
Particularly if you're going to be running a Japanese marathon in January.
Yeah, I don't want to be, doing endless Ks for the next 6-8 months. And I've had some niggles with my foot, still is being on and off. So sort of conscious of not trying to overload that, which I think is just some mileage, not sort of being happy with the foot. So I'll just keep an eye on that. But there was no issues on Sunday, for example. So it's just hit and miss at the moment.
Yeah. And did you rock the Alpha Fly 3s?
No, Sunday I did everything completely different to what I normally would do, from what I do in the morning waking up to what I wear on race day. So again, I was going there with it was quite nice not having any pressure or commitments to performing, or, I just sort of giving things a go. So yeah, my breakfast was different. My hydration was different. And I wore the Adios Pro 3s as well, which first time I've worn in a sort of a race as well. So yeah, everything was different and sort of paid off. So
So we're talking 300 grams of dates, a white monster, and
yeah, some hot cross buns, and
Very good.
Yeah, just completely different. Yeah,
nice. No, it's good. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to try different things too, right? When you don't really have
correct,
any pressure on you. So.
Yeah, and it is nice just being able to sort of just run and not have that pressure. And same as the training weeks at the moment, I can sort of do what I want. And there was a couple of times last week where I woke up and it was raining. I was like, no, I don't really need to go for that run, so I'll do it a bit later. So it is nice having sort of some of that pressure taken off for the time being.
Yeah,
excellent.
For sure. Well, just quickly touching on those times again. So I think Coco winning the 3K. She won the short course cross country maybe a couple of months ago, which is pretty cool. I know Oliver has been kind of running around the traps a while now, and he's obviously rapid. But that Duku Jansuk is a name that keeps popping up on our radar quite frequently recently, and I think he's only like 16 or something, right? 15, 16.
I think he is quite young, yeah. Impressive times.
Yeah, really, really wild. And I think Rebecca Bolster was on our HBF list, if I'm not mistaken, as like one of the potential winners to take out it was like our bet that we had between you and I.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously 36:14 is rapid.
I was running with her for most of the race,
cool.
and she was looking super comfortable. Like, it was quite impressive.
I think for Coco, I think, or even like with Hannah and Ellie Glans, they've got the state cross country championships this Saturday.
Right.
So I'm going to assume that this is a bit of a shakeout or a quick test run before the big dance this Saturday. So looking quick.
Yeah, best of luck to all of them. All right, well, yeah, shall we get on to the Goldfields Pipeline Marathon? So this was one that, I didn't really know a whole lot about, to be honest, until we spoke to Carlos about it last week, and he had announced that there was going to be this side quest that he was going on 2 weeks after his, incredible breakthrough marathon of 22:27 to now go and chase a, course record and $2,000 in prize money. Pretty impressive stuff to back it up. Another one backing it up was Vlad, obviously, in the 50K. Now, I knew nothing about this course until I read a bit about it today, and appears to be mostly on dirt, basically. So, just red dirt. So, to be running a 2:47 on the dirt, how does that make you feel, Matt?
Yeah, not good at all. That's that's a whole different ball game, that one. That's super impressive.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Anyhow, I'll get through the results here. We've got the Retrovision 10K. The men's. Why are you laughing already?
Is Retrovision still around?
Yeah, I think there's probably one in Malaga and one in Kalgoorlie. By the sounds of it. Anyhow, we had the men's race being taken out by Jonty Kavazi in 36:30. Christian Perkis, my nemesis, coming second in 37:21. And maybe Matt's nemesis, Radek Zitkowski, in 38:10. The women's was taken out by Amber Roden in 45:31, followed by Mary Richards, 53:29, and Lucy Richards, 53:30. So the Richards sisters appear to have been running together there and taken out a handy little bit of cash for the podium. I wonder, there's a $200 difference between second and third. Do you reckon they cared, or do they split it? Split it,
right? Yeah.
Nah, I reckon Mary's like, fuck Lucy, I'm gonna sprint.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, that's a decent cash grab for a 10K. Anyhow, the Ellery Brookman half, the men's was won by Liam Fury, 1:15.20, followed by Alex Nicol, 1:34.35. Jesus, there's daylight between first and second, isn't there?
Yeah.
I wonder how Liam felt about that. And then Gareth Arnold coming in third, 1:36.38. The women's half was won by Neve Daly in 1:36.29, followed by Caitlin Hindmarsh in 1:42.29, and then Desiree Sanderson, 1:46.53. Desiree is not a name I hear very often anymore. But, there it is. The Kalgoorlie Chiropractic Marathon. Now, we don't know if there is a Kalgoorlie chiropractor or if it's the fact that you need a chiropractor after running on dirt for 42.2 kilometres. But we had our mate Carlos. So it wasn't a 2:47. The course record was 2:47. Carlos ran 2:44.49. Beating Tom Tedge in 2:58.18, and then Corin Grunewald in 2:59.05. So everyone's sub 3 there in the top 3.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. We had Kiara Nazaroff, another name I haven't heard in a little while, but you're good to see. 3:21.37, taking out the women's race, followed by Alexandra Carl in 3:40.47, and then Katie Sagini in 3:48.30. Now the KCDC 50K, Vlad Ixel 3:17.10, followed by Michael Snart 3:49.03, and Jaden McKenna in 3:53.42. So a bit of a solo mission there for Vlad. But I think Vlad won it last year, and I think has the course record, if I'm not mistaken. So he's lowered that by about a minute, which I believe comes with a little bonus prize. So just keep doing that every year, Vlad, and fill your boots.
Yeah, I feel like he's gaming the system. So he does hold the course record. Yeah, I think he's going to do 3:16 next year.
Yeah, he's doing a Mondo Duplantis for sure.
Definitely.
So now we've got Jackie Kellerman taking out the women's race 3:50.07. That's the 4th year in a row for Jackie. Barbara Freiberg McFarlane 4:48.37, and then Vicky Lee in 5:43.06. So again, a substantial difference between first and second on a few of these distances over the weekend. Reflections on that, guys? Like, should we go out to the Gold Coast, the Goldfields next year and pick up a bit of cash?
Yeah, it might be worth jumping into the half or something like that. Yeah.
Well, Shaf wanted to do the half, so
I did see his name on the start list, actually. Yeah,
and last year he did do the half, and he did come second in the time of 1:35 or something along those lines. So I think the half is where it's at, I reckon.
Do you know what the elevation is for the half?
158. No, that was the
is it
marathon.
Just half of the? So what?
So maybe it's be like 75. Yeah, something like that. That's pretty decent. And I think it's net downhill, this course. So, like, I looked at the profile, and from top, like, left to right, it's downhill. So, sure, it's 158 up, but it looks like it's about 200 down for the marathon. So, it's pretty handy. And I think that it's not like you're running on beach sand like the next one that we're going to cover. It's, compacted red dirt. So, everyone's wearing Alpha Flies and stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, how long is it to drive to Coolgardie?
5 or 6, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long drive.
So that's a flight from Gold Coast to Perth.
Yeah. Fair
so you have to stay the night before. Yeah.
True, and you don't see a lot when you're driving east from Perth. There's not much to see after a certain point. Once you get over the hills, you get past Northam. It's basically desert. So. Looking at it from space, from Google Maps, so many pits in that earth out there. Like the number of prospecting, things out there. There's obviously a fair few, mining facilities.
You don't want to go off course.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, not like you've got a habit to do. It'd be interesting to take the kids out there maybe next year and do some gold panning, pick up a nugget, and drive home. Yeah, it'd be good.
Is that the prize for the course record, or the gold nuggie, or?
Well, I mean, I know that the golden miles are gold nuggies, so it looked like the boys were carrying a pipe around, so a piece of the pipe.
Copper, I guess,
yeah. I think you do get some sort of bonus prize if you beat the course record. I don't know what it was. So that's the cash prize that you if you podium.
Yeah, that's decent money. I mean, how many races in WA are giving $2,000 away? You know, with not a great deal of, you know, without this is saying this as much respect as I can, not much competition. You know,
True.
So yeah, I don't know. There is a temptation to head out there next year and
I'll book some accommodation, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but now that we've announced it on the podcast, the whole of double will be out there next year instead of going to Bustleton. So,
definitely.
Yeah. Anyhow, speaking of double, let's get on to the Cable Beach Try that was on Saturday afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. It's a 5K dash for cash. I think it's a 1K prize pool for the 5K. Also a triathlon held at the same time, but there is this dash for cash. It's along Cable Beach as it's named, and it's basically Smithie. Based on Smithie's report, it looked like the sand was pretty soft this year. So whether or not the tide was lower or higher or whatever it needed to be to create those conditions, it does affect the times that are run. But nevertheless, still very swift. I think Smithie ran 16:37 to take the win. Maybe that's his third time running. He's done that. Reese Harris 17:07 and Cade Ellis 17:28, and then someone's name we see on the track throughout the summer is Sian Monks, taking out the women's in 2017, followed by Charlotte Hall in 20:52, and then Maddie Tuvey coming third 20:04. I don't know. I think the effort to get out to Broome has to be more difficult than getting out to Kalgoorlie, surely.
It's a bit more than a 6-hour drive, yeah.
Yeah. Although Smithie caught a plane, and I don't know how much a plane up to Broome costs these days, but
probably $1,000.
Yeah. He broke even then. Yeah.
That quick time though for soft sand, that's very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't like running on sand, so that's definitely one I won't be doing. So, Matt, there's a fair few upcoming events here, including one you've already mentioned. But do you want to run through those for us, mate?
Yeah, sure. So some upcoming events through July and August. We've got the Chevron City to Surf in Karratha is the first one, 27th of July. So they have a 4K and a 12K distance. And then sort of later in July on the Sunday the 27th, we've got the PTS Truth or Consequences Trail Run. That's out at Serpentine Falls National Park. And then August the 3rd, we've got the Perth Half Marathon. So obviously there's the half marathon there, which I think is also the state championships. Is that correct? Yep.
And it's sold out, yeah.
Yeah, we should see a pretty good field out there, I think, from what I'm hearing. So, yeah, that'll be good to attend, and I'll be running that one. And that's starting at the Burswood Water Sports Centre, so where the WAMC club rooms are. It's always a good event. And I think the last 2 years the weather's been spot on, so fingers crossed for this year. And then we're back up to Broome. Broome International Airport Marathon, 3rd of August. That's at Cable Beach. There's a 10.5, a half, and a marathon. Do they run along the airport, or that's just the sponsor?
Yeah.
Good question. You're asking us to do more research.
Yeah, we should have done some research. You go through the rest. I'll have a look while you go through those.
Sure thing. Birdie's Backyard Ultra, Friday the 8th of August at Lake Taraninging in WA. And then finally, we've got the Transcend Trails and Team Relay at Walyunga National Park on the 16th of August. Multiple distances in that one.
Yeah, right. You were going to say so? Have you looked up the course, or?
Yeah, it looks like you are running on the beach. That's a shit time.
Yeah, the marathon is 4 laps on the up and down.
Okay,
that's unpleasant.
They'd rather run with the planes on the airport, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. So the airport is the sponsor. So
Okay.
You've got the Broome International Airport Marathon. You got the Cable Beachside Villas and Apartments half, and the 10.5K doesn't have a sponsor. But yeah, all on sand.
Let's have a look at the past results just quickly, because I just want to
curious at the times for that.
Yeah, here we go. We're going through a spreadsheet. So a name that we've become familiar with quite recently, actually, won it last year, was Dean Brown.
Yeah.
So he won it in 2:54.45 running on the beach.
Hell. Shit.
And then we had so that was the men's, and then we got the women's. We've got Kazue Hashimoto won it in 4:17.53 in a reasonably close race, beating Josephine Wang in 4:17.57. So,
Oh wow,
yeah, I mean, even a 4-hour marathon on sand to me is elite.
That is tough going.
yeah, that's might as well do Transcend the 65K, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that'll come up a little bit later in our weapons of warp, I think. But so I think we've got Simon Says, mate. You want to go through the warp?
No, I was just looking at the registrations. It's $120 for the marathon just to run on sand. It's tough going.
Yeah, you could just head down to Scarborough and do that any day of the week, couldn't you?
Yeah, easy. All right, well, we got distracted there. So Simon says, I think we've got some last minute Transcend news. Probably not too much of a surprise, but we had the final OG host, Matt Maguire, pulling out of our Transcend team, unfortunately. But thankfully, we've gone in with a replacement younger model in Dane Sproxton. So Dane Sproxton has agreed to be our final team member. So our team will be made up of yourself and I, Chris. We've got Rochelle Damasi, we've got Rido Ritson, and now we've got Dane Sproxton. So it's looking like a pretty good team, and myself making up Team Warp, which is very nice. I'll be honest, I haven't really done too much research about Transcend and getting our kit approved and knowing too much about the course, but it's probably our homework for the next couple of weeks. But the team is looking pretty good. I think we probably just need to get Dane's permission slip signed by his mum over the next couple of days, but we should be sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Very keen to have Dane on board, especially after he cast a few choice words our way when we've told the listeners that Rochelle had the last spot. But no, it's good from Dane. He's absolutely tearing up those PTS runs at the moment, and he's going to absolutely eat this for dinner. This Transcend leg. He said he'd volunteer to do leg 3 because there's a ton of stairs in it. But I think Rido's already put her hand up for leg 3. So it's either going to be, I think, 1 or 5 for Dane. So I reckon we let the young kid take it home, and
I think so.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
Beautiful. Excellent. And then finally, very quickly, we had our Wolves Run Club long run number 3 yesterday down at Curbside Cafe over at the Mount Henry Bridge. So that was a good turnout, considering that, we were thinking that was going to piss down with rain. So that was good. With 6 weeks to go to Sydney. And I think the last long run is scheduled for the day after Transcend, so August the 17th. I don't know what that entails just yet, but we'll try and make ourselves available. It'll be after Transcend. So
one other thing that we haven't put on the run sheet here is our Rocky Ridge Brewing Co. run on the 6th of August, I think.
Yep. So
that's down at the F45 in Duncraig, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Not on a trail anywhere that I thought it might be, but it's basically a 30-minute shakeout run with a few beers afterwards. So it's just an excuse to get together and have a beer by the sounds of it. Keep an eye out on the socials for that, whether it be through Transcend, through Rocky Ridge, or through the Warp Instagram. So looking forward to that one. Now, Weapons of Warp. Got a few things on the list here. Now, there's one person that gets mentioned twice, but I wanted to call out Jackie Kellerman actually for that win of hers on the weekend at the Goldfields Pipeline 50K. That's 4 years in a row. I think the 50K has been running for the past 5 years. I think the only other person to have won it is Sarah Dyer back in 2021. Now, Jackie's times have ranged from the course record of 3:47 to 4:07. And like we said, it's largely on dirt roads. So the marathon splits, if you look at it take it, just purely on what the marathon splits would have been on those particular day, we're talking anywhere between 3:11 and 3:28. So that's pretty impressive stuff running on sand from Jackie, and obviously a specialist in the long stuff. And looking forward to seeing what she's got going on in the next, 6 months of the year. But awesome stuff. Now, there was a video shared on Dean Menzies' socials over the weekend after he took out the Shelley 10K, and it was also broadcast on the WA Marathon socials. So basically it was a video of Dean accepting his award, and there was a gentleman sitting on the bench right behind the presentations wearing a T-shirt which on the back read, "Just keep pinging the sea." And if you can read between the lines, there was quite an amusing thing to see on quite a wholesome day otherwise. I believe there's a backstory to that to do with UFC, Simon.
Yep. So our current welterweight UFC champion JDM, that's what it's making reference to, and it's before the fifth round where the coach says just keep pinging the cunt, and I'm just going to say the word out. And it's a collaboration with Street X, I think, and JDM. So that's what it's in reference to. I'll just need to remind myself to put the explicit label on this episode upload. And David's children, I'm sorry. Speaking of David, now David, our friend David Perich, a star of the show on the Bunbury Lighthouse training series, he recently offered someone $200 for their Transcend ticket, which was, I think, $50 lower than the asking price, and they decided for some reason to give it to him for free. So I'm not sure what else he offered, but he managed to pick up a free Transcend ticket. So he's recently done Ultra Perth. He's now been made famous as saying that ultra running is easy. But it wasn't until after he'd accepted that ticket that he realised he had to spend several $100s in mandatory race care. Yeah.
So the joke's on him a little bit, but he also didn't realise that the course had roughly 3,000 metres of elevation. So maybe ultra running isn't so easy anymore. But
look forward to the voice memos throughout the race.
Yeah, well, if he's got reception, yeah. And then the other reason we had nominated David for a Weapon of Warp this weekend was that he was running the Shelley 10K and I think was aiming for a PB, and maybe his day didn't quite work out for him, but he did blame the shoes afterwards. But toward the end of the race, he managed to see his fellow Bunbury Training Series star Jackson Lemon coming in hot toward the finish, and Perich decided, you know what, I'm going to clip Jackson's wings today, and I'm going to out sprint him in the finish. Well, turns out the joke was on David again, because it turns out that Jackson's net time was faster in the end. So, it was all for nothing, really.
Yeah, I guess 10Ks aren't easy.
No, exactly. The 10K isn't for everyone. And we also, finally, we had Ansen Soon, who I met on the Transcend Trail community run a few weeks ago. I've noticed that his Strava updates frequently talk about his pre-run breakfasts, the weather conditions, and often where his mid-run bowel movement is on the Bristol stool chart. So good to see that things are moving well for Ansen with a rating of 4 yesterday. So very good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's your rating usually if we're looking at mid run poos?
Well, I can't remember which way the table goes. I'll have to have a quick look because while we're on the channel here, but a 4 is basically perfect. We're talking about a long, smooth, well-formed log. But if you're talking about a 1 and a 7, so a 1 is basically like rocky hard pellets.
Okay.
And then type 7 is what I was doing last Monday night after the record.
Good to know. I learn something new each week we record this episode. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Matt, thanks for joining us, mate, this week. I guess we'll have you on next time, maybe post a Japanese marathon.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Sub 2:45. I guess you can reach us on the socials. WA Running Pod on Instagram. Our email is warunningpodcast@gmail.com, and our Strava group is Walk. Thanks for joining us on the WA Running Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to say.
Haven't seen our mate in a while, although you saw him on the weekend, didn't you, Matt?
I did, yes. Yep. Last minute edition.